Most people think you need to be glued to your screens all day to make real money trading, but I'm gonna show you in just 15 minutes the exact process I use to pull out at least 4 figures out of the market. I started with nothing, blew through 2 accounts, and worked a 9-to-5 job for years while trying to figure out how to become a full-time trader and make this work. Now I trade full-time and I get asked all the time what my exact process looks like to go from earning just a few $100s a day to consistent 4- and 5-figure days. So make sure to stick around because I'm gonna cover it all for you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. Picking the right instrument. This first step is the foundation that everything else is built on, because picking the right instrument can either make this simple or make it really difficult and kind of make it feel like you're solving a different puzzle every single day. This is exactly where I see most traders go wrong, especially newer traders. Some of the main reasons that new traders struggle to find consistent profitability in the markets is because they're trying to trade everything. They're trying to catch 10 different stocks on their watch list, every single move that's happening on every single stock. Some of those moves are extremely volatile because they are based off of a catalyst or news that has come out. So it's parabolic moves that are happening. Some are starting out trading 0 DTE options, which are very volatile, or they're starting out trading futures, which are again very volatile, and they are a great way to get started. However, if you're not ready, you can really struggle with that increased volatility. But what's worked for me and pretty much every consistently profitable trader that I know is picking one instrument and mastering it, literally learning it like the back of your hand. For me, that instrument is going to be SPX options. Over the past several years, I've traded a lot of different tickers. I've traded Amazon, Tesla, all of the big names. I've also traded SPY, QQQ, and I've traded SPX and futures. In the 8 years that I have been trading, I have always stuck to 1 or 2 tickers max. I've either stuck with Tesla, or I've stuck with Amazon, or I've stuck with SPX. Currently right now, it's SPX that is my main go-to ticker that I trade all of the time. By honing in on one ticker, it's going to really simplify your trading. You can learn the price action of that ticker, exactly how it moves on volatile days, on earnings weeks, on FOMC weeks. Really learn and understand how that ticker moves on so many different aspects and so many different levels that you won't need to trade multiple different strategies. For me, focusing on SPX, I understand how order flow works on SPX by watching futures, and I understand the highest probability setups for SPX versus any other tickers. The moment I simplified down to just trading SPX and futures, my entries got cleaner, my exits got cleaner, and my emotions got cleaner. However, picking the right instrument is only half the battle, because even if you're trading one ticker at a time, if you're trading it at the wrong time, you're gonna get chopped up. This brings me to my next point, knowing when to trade and only trading during peak volume hours. Step 2 is one of the rules that I never break, and when you're just getting started, it can be tempting to try and experiment with different trading windows, which is completely fine. You should get an understanding of what works for you and what doesn't work for you, high volume hours versus low volume hours. But if you want to work up to 4 and 5-figure days, you need to be trading during peak volume hours, which is going to be usually the first 2 hours of market open and the last 2 hours of market open. The first hour and a half to 2 hours of market open is the most liquid. It's the highest probability window of the trading day. Institutions are active, and also during this time is when data comes out. Usually around 10 a.m. we have data that comes out, and that can potentially move the market as well. I would say about 80% of my trades come from this window from 9:30 a.m. until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when I take most of my trades. Usually volume is higher, price action looks better, you don't get a lot of choppiness, as well as this is when market data comes out, economic data comes out, and it can help give you the momentum to be able to break out certain levels or break out of certain zones. The last 2 hours of market open, 2 to 4 p.m. is the afternoon continuation of institutional activity. Usually you'll have strong directional moves, and usually you'll start to see more volume start to come in as well in those last 2 hours. Usually from 11 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is choppy, low conviction, and you don't have a lot of volume coming into the market. This is kind of what I think of as lunchtime hours. It's a break time for the entire market. Usually, most of the time, unless it's a trending day or we have significant news, you won't see a lot of movement during this time period. This is the part nobody tells beginners. They sit there all day watching charts, burning themselves out, mentally exhausting themselves, and they're making most of their bad trades during dead hours when the market is just drifting. So if you've been trading during those dead hours and wondering why nothing is working, this is your fix. Always remember quality over quantity. It's about the quality of your trades, not how many trades you take. Trade less, but trade smarter. Confine yourself to the 2 windows I just mentioned and watch your win rate go up. I don't trade the first 10 minutes of market open. I usually try to wait until the first 2 5-minute candles open on futures. 9:30 to 9:40, I'm just watching. I'm identifying direction. At this point, I want to see if futures is above or below VWAP level, whether it's respecting overnight levels levels, pre-market highs, pre-market lows, or whether there's a gap to fill on futures or SPX. And this is exactly what I break down in my live trade. So if you want to do this alongside me live and actually watch me do these steps in real time, I trade every single day inside my Discord community. You can see my watch list before the market opens, watch me execute live, ask questions, and be in a room with traders who are all doing this together. I've already helped a ton of members inside the community get started and sharpen their execution. So if that sounds like something you need, link is in the description below. Now let's move on to the next part, which is what to look for before the market opens. How you prep for the market before it opens is what's going to set you apart from other traders. You know why most traders are reactive is because they're never prepared. They wake up, the market opens, something moves, and they're chasing it with no plan in place. When you don't prep before the market opens, what happens is that you're emotionally attached to the trades. You're now trading with your emotions. You're not trading with a strategy. When you set a plan in place, that plan comes from the knowledge you have as a trader and the strategy that you've built over the past several months or years that you've been trading. That is based on the knowledge you have as a trader, the confidence you've built as a trader, and that is what you need to follow. If you don't have that, you're completely trading with your emotions. There's no plan in place. There's no strategy in place. Think of it like a sports team that shows up to a game without a game plan. It doesn't matter how talented the players are, they're gonna get destroyed. The traders who are consistently profitable already know what they want to see before the market opens. They already know what they're gonna trade before the market opens. They have all of their levels set. They know exactly where they want to see buyers step in or sellers step in, and so on and so forth. So I make sure that every Sunday I sit down and do my weekly prep, and every morning before market open, I also follow up on that prep. So every Sunday I research the week's economic data that's coming out, earnings reports that are coming out, and FOMC dates. I don't trade FOMC days and I do not trade earnings. I update my weekly, daily, and 4-hour chart levels on Sunday, and then I identify any gaps from the prior week that haven't been filled or any wicks that haven't been filled. This is my go-to strategy, which is why I always like to identify those specific plays first. So every morning I open up whatever ticker is on my watch list on the 5-day, 15-minute time frame and mark out the previous day high, previous day low, pre-market high, and pre-market low. These are going to be my initial entry points for my trading plan. So if we're looking at SPY here, the previous day high here is sitting right around this level if we're going to look for today specifically. So this is all after I was in the pre-market before market open, and then this is the previous day. So the previous day high is sitting at around 640.40, and then the previous day low is sitting very close to the pre-market low. So because they're so close together, I'm just going to chart the lowest point, which is 628.86, that pre-market low. Okay, and then I want to chart the pre-market high. Since I already have the pre-market low charted here, the pre-market high is also sitting right at 640.40. So this was a little easy because the previous day high, previous day low, and pre-market high and pre-market low are pretty much the same levels. So this shows you that they are significant levels of support and resistance. And if we do break out on the day, which we did end up breaking out, it will be a high probability setup. My initial trading plan for the day is highly dependent on what I see for previous day high, previous day low, and pre-market high and pre-market low. On top of this, you want to make sure that you have a max of 2 tickers on your watch per day. You don't want to be watching any more than 2 tickers. If you're a complete beginner trader, I would only focus on 1 ticker per day as you gain more consistency and profitability. Now it's time to go through what will actually get you in a trade, and those are your confirmations for entry and exit. So you could have the most perfect setup in the world, but without confirmations, it's just a guess. The entry confirmation is what separates a disciplined trader earning thousands a day from someone who's just hoping they're right. So here are my confirmations for entry before I touch the buy button. This is exactly what I want to see for a scalp, for SPX, or any other ticker that I'm looking for. So just going back to our initial SPY example, let's say I wanted to take SPY calls above pre-market high and previous day high, which is the same level, 640.40. The first thing that I would look for here, before I even look at SPY's chart, is I would want to make sure that both futures, if I'm looking for an upside move, are trending above their VWAP levels, and both futures are in sync. What I mean by that is that they're both moving in the same direction with volume in the same direction, both above their VWAP levels. That give me conviction that buyers are aggressive for the day. The second thing I want to look for is if I'm looking at the ticker, for example, this is SPY, I would want to see it trending above both of its EMAs for calls to the upside. The third thing that I would look for is I want to see, for confirmation for entry, one candle break out and close above my level. So this is your breakout candle. And then I want to see the confirmation candle. So one candle to open above the level that I'm watching. This candle on the 2-minute time frame is my entry candle. Before I enter, while I'm watching my breakout candle, I then look to BOOKMAP to see what order flow looks looks like and what volume looks like. When I open BOOKMAP, I'm looking at the heat map and the volume pressure indicator. So this is the volume pressure indicator for ES futures and SPY. SPY, because markets close, we have very low volume, but this is what it would look like. You would see either aggressive buyers or aggressive sellers step in. So as SPY breaks out, in that breakout candle, I would want to see aggressive buyers stepping in and holding sellers at bay. So this little indicator here should be pushing all the way through here and should be holding. There should be conviction, there should be continuation and follow through behind the move, follow through of volume. Once I see that there's volume behind the move, there's conviction, then this candle is my entry candle. Once this candle opens up, as long as there's still volume and buyers are aggressive, this is my confirmation candle for entry. This is where I would enter on the 2-minute and I would hold until my next level of resistance and so on and so forth. Getting in is the part everyone obsesses over, but if you don't know exactly where you're getting out before you enter a trade, you're not trading, you're gambling. You should always cover your bases, have an entry point, have your profit targets, and have an exit as in a stop loss. So now I'm going to cover the exit rules and what you need to know when you're getting out of your trade. So first and foremost, you always want to make sure that your profit target is set before entry. If you don't have a profit target set or multiple profit targets set, you are trading blindly, you are trading with emotion. You shouldn't be deciding mid-trade whether you should take profit or not. You shouldn't be deciding mid-trade where the next level of resistance is. You want to make sure that you have all of that set in your trading plan prior to entry. The one thing that really helps me when I'm trading is I do not look at my P&L while I'm in a trade. This is a discipline that's going to separate profitable traders from break-even traders. You don't need a better strategy, you just need a better exit process. When you set a trading plan, there are 3 important components to a trading plan. The first is where you're going to enter. The second is where you're going to take profit. Usually I set 2 to 3 profit targets so that I can scale out. And the third is where you're going to exit for a loss. Where are you setting your stop loss? If you do not have these 3 components to your trading plan, you are trading blindly and you will trade with your emotions rather than the strategy that you've built upon. And now that you've got the instrument, the timing, the prep, the entry, and the exit, I'm going to show you what this looks like in real time, start to finish. We're going to go through an example of a live trade that I took. So the trade I'm going to go through with you guys, I took on March 31st, which is today. I took SPX calls and I'm going to show you exactly how I entered, how I set the trading plan, and what I was watching on futures to take this position. So for this specific play, I wanted to see SPX above 64.30 for a move up to 64.40 and 64.53. These are my 2 profit targets to the upside because those were the next levels of resistance above 64.30. 64.30 was my entry because you can see that it kind of pulled back here around high of day at 64.30, retested, and then was trying to make the move up. While I was looking for SPX to clear 64.30, I wanted to see ES futures clear 64.70 and the NASDAQ to clear 23,500. You can see that we were trending above VWAP level on both futures and above its EMAs on both futures as well. At the same time, because we had gapped up, we were above both EMAs on SPX as well. So this signified that buyers were aggressive in this move, buyers were in control of the market. If we were to trend, it would be an upside trend. At the same time on BOOKMAP, you want to see aggressive buyers stepping in on ES. ES had a wall sitting at 64.70 and then the next wall was sitting at around 6,500 to the upside. So my final target on ES was 6,500. My final target on SPX was 64.54 here, which was a pre-gap level. Now, if we look here on Discord, I called this live. So I entered at 647. I scaled out at 649, 653, and then 706. So let's go ahead and take a look. So this was my entry here on this candle as it broke out. On this candle open, we can see the push up here, strong push up on SPX. It cleared the first profit target. So I exited 80% of my position towards the end of this candle at 649. And then I scaled out 90% of my position on the push of this candle here. As it approached 64.54, my second profit target, I ended up exiting my runners right around this level. I was still in profit on the runners 706 because my stop was 64.40. So as I entered this position and it cleared 64.40, 64.40 then became my stop for the rest of my position. So I exited 80% here, I exited 90% here, and then I exited my runners as it broke my stop of 64.40 to the downside. It also broke that 9 EMA. As you guys can see, as SPX made the move up here, You can see ES also made the move up. When it did retest, it retested its 6480 level, and the Nasdaq retested 24,500. So this is a really high probability setup here as we got the move up. Overall on this trade, I made about a 30% ROI, total ROI, a little bit more than that actually, but this was a high probability setup. I had my entry set on SPX futures. I had both entries on Nasdaq and ES futures as well. And then as we made the push up, I scaled out both of my profit targets. I didn't overhold this position, and I exited my runners even when they hit my stop loss as well. Now you know the exact steps you need to take to start finding consistent profitability in your trading. And if this video helped you, make sure to catch some of the live trades I do inside of my Discord community. You can watch me execute these exact steps in real time and ask me questions as they happen. The link is in the description. Thank you for watching.